morning folks, Kevin here. Well, it's July 6th, just after the big holiday weekend here in the States, 4th of July, Independence Day in the United States. And Thea and I both had time off not time off, Thea had time off from work, so we were able to get quite a bit of work done in the gardens and all. But at the end of this video, I'll put in some drone footage from the GoPro Karma that I shot going over the garden, so you get a little bit better idea of the orientation as opposed to me just walking through with this small DJI Osmo mobile device and shooting pictures as we go through. Okay, this is one of the hoop tunnels. I'm not going to spend any time talking about this one just yet. I'm gonna this is one that had all the kale plants in it before, and that bed there had the kale plants in it, and there'll be a separate video being posted as soon as we get the seeds dried out on harvesting seeds from various crops, and this is going to be from the kale. So here's the butternut squash along the outside of this side. Back on the back side, way over there, there's basil. We're big into the herbs. And here we have cantaloupes on this side, and let's go ahead. So, two things. So right over here, we have some chamomile that we just had left over that's planted in between, right down in here, a couple of small pieces, and over there in between the potatoes. These are our heirloom blue potatoes loaded with anthocyanins. And then we have some hyssops, we got some lemon balm, lots of red banana peppers. They're really awesome. We got some really great sweet, very sweet red banana peppers here, and we grew a lot of them last year and decided to start some more from seed this year. Started them late, but they're doing okay so far. Here's the bed of strawberries, and I talked about this in a separate video. We probably had about a 10% loss, and I have been watering these once a day besides the drip irrigation, and that I think is helping with getting them reset again. This is the wrong time of year to transplant strawberries. Over here we got some bee balm in this bed. Here we got some marjoram. Here's some lemon mint. Got to do some more weeding. Here we've got some more rosemary, some spinach that's going to seed, some of our lettuce, some arugula going to seed over there. Then before we talked about the red holy basil. That's coming along really nicely. Of course, our sweet basil is doing great. Our parsley doing well. Some more rosemary, and certainly our sage doing well. Cilantro, just they had to put a bungee cord around here to hold it together. And again, our garlic chives and our regular chives. Over here, our eggplants, they're starting, they do this each year. They get eaten up by the bugs pretty badly. I did not get the weed net on it in time. Didn't get the weed net on at all. Either I'm by myself or the winds are kicked up around here, unfortunately. This is the bed that had the curly kale in it. We did get this one redone. The boards are really decomposing, but my plan is if we can swing it, I'll build another block handicap bed right here and one on the opposite side as well. We really like these for ease of working with them, especially as we get older, as time goes on. And I really do like the rain gutter garden bed, but there's some design features that I'll modify with this one in the future. This is an area we let go last year. Then I went ahead and re-prepped, but there's a plethora of weed seeds in there, so everything was taken off like crazy and really overcoming all the watermelon and the honeydews. There's some honeydews here, some lemon mint in here as well. So we decided to lay down the weed mat, cover up, suppress all the weeds. They took a little bit of a stress. We lost 2 of the watermelon plants when doing that, but it's going to work out. Things will work out just fine ultimately. So that's the one bed, and that's, I think, will be towards the end of the overhead video shot. Here are our, oh gosh, I gotta get up to the label up at the end. These are the big beans, the ones that the hummingbirds love the flowers from, and they're doing pretty well so far. These are scarlet runner beans. Over here there's the Trail of Tears string beans. We really like those a lot as well. We like both of these beans. They're really, really good. Some of the extra parsley planted over here. Hardy kiwi. Now this was mostly, well, there's some cabbage there, but there's cauliflower mixed in here. There's some broccoli mixed in here. These are ones that the wildlife were getting into all these into these plants before, so you can see what the original ones that they didn't take out look like. Let me step over this bed. Then we have the zephyr squash, our curly kale. We got to start harvesting that. That's one of our problems. We grow so much that we can't get to it in time. More zephyr squash here. A bed of broccoli predominantly. More of the same squash. Here we have a lot of celery growing here. We make our own celery powder. We turn many of our plants into powders. Our garlics, celery, onion, we're going to do leeks this year as well. Really makes it convenient when you're doing lots of cooking. And then we have celeriac, which eat the root part. The Bastan hot peppers. This is our first year growing those, so we'll see. And then over there, and that's a bed I'm watering a little bit extra. And that's the some of our carrots. And on the far side right over there is the oregano. All right. All right, we'll start off right over here at the edge. So here we have our thyme plants, some of the babies put in here as well. Thea transplanted those this weekend. Some of the, it's labeled lemon thyme. I think it's lemon mint, lemon balm right here actually. Then we have some of our cucumbers and some dill in the center. That's coffee grounds I threw around the outside. Again, I did not have enough compost to really get this area set. So these edge pieces, once I have more compost, and unfortunately my composting system is really behind the times. I should have had compost finished by now. I'm not. There's a few more weeds starting to pop up along the weed mat, and I'll make a video talking about the tools that I use here that are probably the most efficient and ergonomic tools that I've found so far. I've bought a whole bunch of tools in the past. Okay, some of the tomato plants. Now these are beefsteaks. I believe that these ones are the beefsteaks. Here we got some of our cauliflower, our cabbage. These are the romaine tomatoes down here. The corn doing pretty darn well. Our red onions and our leeks. Now ideally I'd be mulching these ones. Now in the last video I shot with the garden update, I showed how the so we have comfrey planted alongside of this building, and of course I mulch in between these rows, and you can see it's almost impassable going down. So once these got up to 4 or 5 foot, they lay down and they sort of self-mulch this bed, and you can see that's all the new growth shooting up. Now that'll happen again in a couple weeks time, so it keeps mulching this, and then this material. And the thing about this comfrey, it's a Bach 14, which means that it doesn't produce seeds that are that will germinate. This basically, you use the sections of root to propagate these plants, which makes it awesome because the bees love them. Various insects love the flowers on it. Brings in beneficial insects right next to the annual garden here, and it also does some self-mulching. Now, people might say, well, why don't you just put a row of this in between everything? Well, the problem is, if you're ever going to disrupt the roots on these, they are very, very hardy. They're like bindweed or quackgrass or certainly horseradish. You disrupt the roots and it's going to send up a new plant. So we just keep it right up against the building here. It self-mulches. That material will go back up on top of this bed ultimately. So let's go to the other side of the building. There's Sunshine enjoying life out here. She was an inner city cat. All right, this area I haven't gotten weeded. So why am I so far behind weeding? So here we've got quackgrass growing all along in here, and that's a tenacious, terrible plant, and that'll send runners underneath the plant and shoot up on this other side. So all along the building there, I never got it all out, and it's working its way underneath the mats and through the mulch, working its way along. So I've got more work to do as time permits. So here we've got some more broccoli. And see one more little, you may not be able to notice that, but right there at the tip of my finger is a tomatillo. Boy, they're tenacious. Once they drop their seeds, their fruit, they'll grow any place. Here's some of the bell peppers in this area, some of the Salence tomatoes here, and our heirloom sweet blue potatoes in this bed. Again, all of these areas have got to be weeded. So that's it for the garden update on June 6th, 2017. Just trying to document how things progress over time. If you're interested in the drone footage, it'll come up next. Otherwise, folks, have a super fantastic day. Take care. Subscribe if you would. Give it a thumbs up. Ask any questions. Leave any comments. I'll get to them eventually, probably in the form of a video. So again, thanks for watching and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.